Joining me live right now is Dr. Joe Congini, Sports Medicine Center at Akron Children's Hospital. I have a hunch I know where he will be tomorrow night, Tom Benson Stadium. But, Joe, how about it today? What do you got for us, my friend?
Hey, Ray, please don't change that forecast. That's where it's at, because the last couple of nights would have been brutal. Last week was pretty cold. We're getting to the later time of the year now. I mean, it's been 18 weeks for these kids, and everybody, all the teams that are still alive, there's a lot of banged-up kids and really could use a break. So I'm looking at it, okay, from the standpoint of safety. After tomorrow night, kids can get a chance to get healthy again. But it should be an unbelievable for fans, an unbelievable game to see, one that everybody's been waiting for. And I know that Massillon is so well thought of nationally as a great team. This might be one of their best, if not their best team. And Hoban's a good team, too. So I think it's going to be a really exciting game tomorrow night. And I hope fans get the chance to enjoy it. And I hope we get to enjoy it without a lot of injuries and issues going on the sideline. So, yes, you're right. I will be at Hall of Fame Stadium again, and it's a great venue for high school football.
What do you have for us today?
Ray, I wanted to talk a little bit about some really good news that we got yesterday at the Sports Medicine Center. And personally for me, oh, my gosh. We talk so much on the show, Ray, about research, and that you really can't draw a lot of conclusions medically without researching things and making sure that you know if they're going to work or if they're not. And I think you know that I've been involved in a long-term research project, and it's had it's long and winding road with ups and downs and everything. But we got yesterday, we were notified that our research study was accepted to one of the better journals in the country in sports medicine. It's known as the Clinical Journal of Sports Medicine, and this has taken a long time to get to this point, and so we were extremely excited to be in a journal where a lot of people will see the research that we put together. It is really, the title is Reducing Concussion Symptoms by Using Head and Neck Cooling Device, at the time or shortly after the concussion. And so by using this, what we call the cooling cap or cooling device, and using it with people that have symptoms of concussion, do they do better if we do that in the early stages of the concussion versus others who don't have access to such? And our original study, you know how I am. I'm a full court press guy, and I want to get things moving. I've done research in my career, partly just because we have just so many good cases down at Children's and a real high number of cases that we needed to research. But this one really took me a long time, took us. We had a whole team of people. And we did a part one, which was really encouraging, but then they came back to us and said, hey, you need bigger numbers. And to get bigger numbers, we had to get other centers on board. And so we did a multi-center study with 5 different children's sports medicine groups at the University of Michigan, at Cincinnati Children's, at Dayton Children's, and our Mahoning Valley office out in the Youngstown area. And we pooled the resources of those with the information coming to us at Children's, as we kind of were the main directors of it. But that sounded good. I'd never been directing such a big multi-center study, but then you have really good and smart people at all of those centers that kind of have different opinions on things. So we went through a period where we were kind of trying to put together a good protocol and taking all the input from all these really smart doctors out there that had ideas of how they wanted to do this study. And then we got into the study, and we got started with, getting a lot of concussion patients. One of the things that makes it very different, this study, when you'll eventually get a chance to read it in a few months in the journal, is that it's younger athletes. So much concussion research is in college and pro athletes. This is mainly 12 to 16-year-old athletes in a whole host of contact sports. It was not just football. It was randomized. So half of the group got the cooling treatment. Half of the group was a control group. They did not get the cooling treatment. So we got off to a good start after we got the protocols and we got through everything with having 5 different groups' opinions. And then we ran into COVID, and COVID took a big bite out of this, and we were stopped in our tracks, and we didn't get a new patient for, 9, 12 months almost, and so that really slowed us down. And then we had to get back to getting in the groove of seeing concussion patients again in 2021 and 22, and we got enough patients. The scientists tell you how many you need, and we needed over 150, 170 patients, 170, young patients, a control group, and a group that was treated with the cooling treatment, and the results looked really good to us. Again, there was a lot of back and forth from different groups about what they wanted to emphasize about what we found in the study, but we came to a happy medium. I worked really hard with a researcher from NeoMed by the name of Matt Smith. Matt really helped me in this study a lot. I don't do research all the time. I'm an impatient guy. I want to get moving all the time. So we did this. We worked hard on it. We wrote it up. And then in this day and age, there's not a lot of reviewers post-COVID. There's sometimes it takes a little longer, I'm told, than the pre-COVID studies. And it took a while, and we were just waiting. And finally, yesterday, we got the word that we had been accepted for this study. The results are really pretty encouraging, and I really think it's going to be a good addition to the initial evaluation and treatment of concussion patients. Because the big thing is if we reduce the symptoms early on, reduce them a lot, they often don't go on to 2-week, 4-week, 6-week, 2 months, 3 months of struggling with symptoms. They do better if we get rid of the symptoms in the first week to 10 days. And our study showed that the cooling really helped in getting rid of those symptoms, and we're extremely excited about it. So I apologize if you have to put up with hearing about this morning, but we're all pretty excited at the Sports Medicine Center at Children's and at NeoMed that helped us quite a bit, and at all the other 4 centers. I have to really shout out and tell them thanks a lot at Michigan, Cincinnati, Dayton, and Mahoning Valley that helped get the numbers we needed to make it a worthwhile study. So I got my feet wet in research. It takes a long time. There's no full court presses in research. It takes time. But all of these things we talk about on Wednesday mornings, Ray, you have to have good research to back it up. You don't just go out and just start doing things with athletes or patients. You really need things to be well researched, and we have a really good and growing research center at Akron Children's Hospital. So for people coming off of giving Tuesday yesterday, supporting the Children's Hospital Research Fund at Akron Children's will support a lot of really good studies and work that are going on right in our hometown.
Well, Joe, and I applaud your charge, too. You've been on this story, I think, as long as I've known you, my friend, and that's a passion of taking care of these kids in these collision sports and beyond, and really applaud you and this study. And, again, another big step forward and working on the details of fighting this. Joe, thanks as always, my friend. Have a great weekend and enjoy that game tomorrow night.
I'm going to be nice and toasty warm. I'm going to enjoy that game. And I think it's really going to be football at its highest level for anybody that wants to either watch on TV or come on down to the Hall of Fame. I think it's going to be a good football game.
No doubt about it. Dr. Joe Congini, Sports Medicine Center, Akron Children's Hospital. He joins us Wednesdays right here on WAKR.